Hi everyone and welcome to my wildcard draft. In this video, I'm going to show you the best game week 6 wildcard, the players, the reason I picked these players and the stats to back the picks. At the end, I'm going to run you through a Haaland Salah draft and whether it's possible, what are the pros and cons, how much you lose compared to an optimum game week 6 wildcard team. If this sounds good to you, do me a favor, drop a like and subscribe. Let's get into it. Let's start with the goalkeepers, and the two I'm going for is Dubravka, who's 4 million. Playing goalkeeper, it's a no-brainer. He will be in most people's teams already. I'm not going to take him out. The perfect backup goalkeeper. And my new goalkeeper will be Raya. I've had sales for the start of the season and that's been super painful, but Raya, playing for Arsenal, that incredible defense, he's actually been playing at a very good level. When we look at the numbers, they back this up. Now with Raya, the first thing to talk about is the upcoming fixtures. The entry point in game week 6 isn't ideal. Newcastle away. I mean, although Newcastle are not free scoring, but it's still a very difficult fixture. But after that, that's when things look up. It's West Ham, Fulham and Crystal Palace, and there's even better fixtures to come. Goals conceded, Arsenal have only conceded 2. Bear in mind, one of them was a worldie to Szoboszlai, and the other one was Haaland, who's one of the best strikers in the world. So it tells you they're very mean, very difficult to breach that defense. Clean sheets, they've had 3, which is the second best in the Prem. Expected goals conceded is currently 3.31, which is the second best in the Prem. And minutes per XGC is 1.47, which is very, very good. So as you can see, the stats back Arsenal to keep clean sheets. And Raya individually is actually a very good goalkeeper. His save percentage is very, very good. Having a look at the fixture ticker, this is taken from game week 6 to game week 12. And it's ordered via difficulty for defending. Arsenal are at the top. Even with that difficult fixture in Newcastle, the rest of the fixtures are that good. Arsenal come top of this list. This should assure you that Arsenal will be keeping clean sheets and Raya should be locked in for good FPL points here. In defense, I've gone for Gabriel. Yes, I'm doubling up on Arsenal. That's how confident I am with Arsenal keeping clean sheets over the next 6, 7, 8 upcoming game weeks. So Gabriel, for all the reasons I just spoke about, Raya for the clean sheets and how strong they are and the fixtures are good. But let's just add, he is very good at attacking set pieces and Arsenal are one of the best set pieces team in the Prem. So let's hope we can get a couple of attacking returns in those game weeks. Beside him is Tarkowski. The Everton man mountain has been ever present this season, clicking up defensive contributions, which we'll talk about in a bit more detail in a minute. Senesi, one of the bargains of the season. Everyone thought Bournemouth were doomed when they lost their whole back four. All of a sudden, they still look very, very good. And he's the pick of the bunch. Anderson, another cheap defender performing miracles, returning week in, week out. He's not leaving my team. And lastly, Estev. Just like Dubravka, a very cheap player that actually plays 90 minutes for a decent team. We can utilize him once in a blue moon, or if you've got injuries, or we're using chips like bench boost. Now, I touched on defensive contributions earlier on. That's one of the main factors for me picking some of these defenders. Gabriel doesn't feature on this list. This is like the top 10 defensive contribution players so far using the 5 game weeks data. As you can see, 3 of my defenders are in the top 4 of defensive contributions so far. Senesi, Tarkowski, and Anderson. It's incredible. So these are the type of players that even if they concede, they can return 3 or 4 points, which over the season adds up. Yes, Gabriel doesn't feature any defensive contribution. That's because Arsenal very rarely get attacked. They're so dominant that it's hard for him to get the defensive contributions. But I don't mind that because I'm hoping for more consistent clean sheets. And like I said earlier on, maybe even some attacking returns. But this is some of the reasons of this back 5 here. There's enough for me to play a back 4 or a back 3. If I'm really desperate, I can play a back 5. So the flexibility is there in this wildcard defense. In midfield, I've gone for Semenyo. I cannot fight this guy no more. He's been relentless. Bournemouth have been excellent and he's been the spearhead for that attack. Already got 3 goals and 2 assists. He took a penalty, which was unexpected. Whether that continues or not, who knows? It could be a bonus for us. And also starting to click up defensive contributions. I mean, is there anything this man isn't doing? As far as I'm concerned, he's 100% locked into my team, whether I wildcarded or used one of my free transfers to bring him in. Reinders is an interesting one. Loads of managers were selling him the last game week. I'm not quite sure what they wanted for a very cheap midfielder who plays at the top of Manchester City's attack. I mean, he got an assist against Arsenal and clicked up defensive contributions. For me, he is a no-brainer and an essential FPL midfield pick. Endai is a frustrating one for me. I have to suck it up. I made a big mistake. I started the season with him and then I sold him, but he's continued to impress. Not only is he playing the minutes, he's one of the main guys who's benefited from this new David Moyes Everton's attack. People like Grealish and Dewsbury Hall have allowed him to attack the back post and he's finding himself in great positions to get these goals. Now he's also ticking defensive contributions, so he's got extra routes to points now. Bruno Fernandes is Marmite. One week I like him, another week I don't like him. But one of the main reasons he stays into my team is I like the price point. It means I can easily get rid of a forward, put the money there and bring in a premium midfielder if I need to. If I want to change my strategy, that's something I can easily do. So that's one reason I like him. And to be fair to Bruno, he has been returning, even though playing as a DM further back than we would prefer, playing for a dysfunctional team. Manchester United, one week they're good, one week they're poor. But for now, he is staying in my team. And my last midfielder is Stack. Now, he's had an incredible start to the season for Leeds, performing really well when you consider he only cost 5 million. He allows me the option to play midfield 5 or to play a 3-4-3, which will be my preference. Now, how did I end up in this midfield here? Have a look at the upcoming fixture ticker again. This is from game week 6 to game week 12, highlighted for the best attack. As you can see highlighted, all my midfielders are in the upper part of the fixture ticker. They've all got incredible fixtures coming up. So I'm really hoping for attacking returns from this midfield 5. Let's talk forwards, and I'm going to start with João Pedro, who's been incredible this season, super consistent, lovely price point, spearheading that Chelsea attack. Chelsea still have good fixtures. I think there's a lot of ticks there for us. Beside him is the main man. As you noticed, there was no Mohamed Salah in midfield, which of course meant Haaland in my team. He started the season incredible. Loads of us who haven't owned him have been very fortunate. He should have scored even more goals, but he looks super hungry. Even against Arsenal, you saw the way he took that goal. Unreal. The only potential negative was at the end of that game, I heard Pep say that he had to take him off a little bit earlier because to give him a little rest, his back was playing up a little bit. So let's keep a little eye on that. But apart from that, Haaland's statistics this season have been unreal. If you haven't seen my previous transfer video, I went into full detail there, so I'm not going to go into it now. But he takes the second spot in my team. And lastly is GW6, who, I'll be honest, has struggled when he's played against the top team. So against Liverpool and against Man City, he didn't look at it. He struggled to generate the chances. Now, you could argue, is that his team's fault or is it his fault? Does he have to make goals even in those difficult situations? So why have I got a £9 million Arsenal striker who might struggle against the top teams? Well, one of the main reasons is look at the fixtures. This is game week 6 to 12 again. As you can see, Arsenal are at the top. And GW6 won't be facing many difficult teams apart from the next game week actually, which is Newcastle. Their defense is very, very good. But after that, the fixtures are gorgeous, and you could see him being a bit of a flat track bully, and he will be getting goals against these teams. So I'm taking a gamble here thinking Arsenal win the majority of these games. They're already 5 points behind Liverpool in the Premier League title chase. Now, as you can see on that list, GW6 is top, but all my 3 forwards have gorgeous fixtures. Chelsea still have great forwards. Man City, you could argue, are a bit of a mixed bag, but with someone like Haaland, does that even really matter? He even scored the goal against Arsenal, by far the best defense in the Premier League. So this is the front 3 I like the most. In fact, I played around with different permutations, but I kept on coming back to this. Have a look at this data set here. This almost reinforces what I just said a minute ago. Look at the top 3 attacks. I know that game week 5 is still in this data set here. I haven't got the new one from just game week 6. It just shows you how strong Chelsea's, Man City's and Arsenal's attacking fixtures are. Just have a look at them. Now, when I look at this team, one of the strengths I see is the flexibility. Every player in this team plays, so I can move formations whenever I want. I can play a 3-4-3, which will be my main formation when you have a strong front 3 like this. But I can, in theory, play a 3-5-2, 5-3-2. I've got the flexibility. All my players play. This also allows you to use chips like bench boost if you do have them, because all your players play. So again, you've got the flexibility, you've got the usage of chips. Fixtures for the majority of this team has been thought about. They've got lovely fixtures, and there's rotations in defense and in midfield if necessary. The big glaring issue with this team is no Liverpool players. Liverpool being one of the best teams in the Premier League, probably the best attack, yet I have none in my team. Now, of course, this is a problem, but one thing in FPL, you can't own everyone. When you try to bring someone like Salah in, there's compromises. You make sacrifices and your team becomes very weak. You lose the flexibility, like I said a minute ago. You start having dead players in your squad. But leaving players like Bruno in the team, I can easily make 2 transfers. Say get rid of a GW6 and bring in a cheap striker and put the money on Bruno, and then have Salah, Palmer, Osaka if necessary. So as far as I'm concerned, I've covered myself just in case I do see Salah going crazy like last season and I need to quickly change things. So that's one thing I have thought about when putting this wildcard team together. Get in the comments and let me know what you think about this team before I show you the actual Salah Haaland draft, and let's see what you think about that. So this is my Salah Haaland wildcard team. If you fancied going there, let me tell you, I've actually been considering it. It's not too bad. I'm going to tell you what the differences are, what sacrifices I needed to make compared to my optimum game week 6 wildcard team. The first noticeable difference in defense is Gabriel had to be chopped. I've gone back to something like a Van de Ven who's very cheap, albeit very good. You could argue matching Gabriel quite comfortably points-wise at the moment. With those Arsenal fixtures, I really wanted to attack and be aggressive for those potential clean sheets. So you lose that straight away. The next big change is instead of Gyökeres, I've had to go for someone cheap like Munoz. It's very difficult in this price point. There's not many players that play 90 minutes, and if they do, they're not playing for good teams where you're more than likely going to get attacking returns. Munoz is a sort of compromise. He's been playing decent minutes recently. Fulham are pretty good and the fixtures are okay. So you can see the difference between a Gyökeres and a Munoz. I mean, that's pretty straightforward. With the money saved there, you can do two things in midfield. First and foremost, Bruno Fernandes, who I called Marmite earlier on, he becomes Mohamed Salah. So instantaneously, you've got the two best FPL assets who can return against anyone. You've probably got the best captaincy for the remainder of the season with these two, unless they're playing each other actually. And with the remaining money, you can upgrade someone like Stack to maybe an Anderson if you prefer that, or you just leave the money in the pot. But this is the best team I could come up with a Haaland Salah draft. I think there's not much compromise there, and I could see this team doing really well. So there's food for thought here, because I am actually considering this. Do you think this team is viable, or am I sacrificing too much? Is it better to have Gabriel, Bruno and a Gyökeres instead of having someone like a Salah, Munoz and Van de Ven? Get in the comments and let me know what you think about this team. Also, let me know what you think about my game week 6 wildcard team. I'd love to get your feedback on these teams. Quick reminder, if you are making early transfers to catch the price rises, remember, we have midweek fixtures, English League Cup, most teams are playing. We also have a UEFA Europa League game where Aston Villa play. I mean, the way Aston Villa are playing at the moment, I don't think we even care if those players get injured. We wouldn't even notice the difference. But anyway, bear that in mind just in case you make early transfers. I hope you enjoyed the video, but more importantly, I hope you found the video useful. Please get in the comments and let me know what you think about my wildcard team. You like it? You don't like it? Can it be improved? Also, if you are wildcarding, get in the comments and let me know your team. I'll rate your team. Let me see it in the comments. Before you jump off to the next video, do me a favor, like, subscribe, share the video. You're more than welcome to be a member. That money goes towards prizes I give out on my deadline stream. Get the notifications on and you'll find out what I'm talking about.